a look at this wonderful, wonderful sock. This is a sock for my tutorial that should be out next week. This is Rosarius for Maya, and I love this yarn so much. It feels like cashmere, to be honest, but I do have some issues regarding to this yarn. I'll share a bit later. Right now, I'll just enjoy the tip of the sock that I have to just finish very fast and block it. So when I block it, I will be ready to start filming the knitting tutorial. It is my own design. I really love it. It is like third pair of socks that I'm knitting. After I'm releasing these socks, I'm going to give them to my friend. She is having a very special event in November, and it is going to be a special gift for her. After I finish them, I feel like I'm going to just cast on another pair. Like, I really like the socks. Alright, this is before blocking. I did not wash it yet. I just weaved in the ends yesterday. This is a Terrazzo Neck by Petite Knit. I have knit second size, and the yarn is yak Tibetan fibers, baby yak, 100% baby yak. Look at this gorgeous structure. Even before blocking, it is super soft, super fluffy, extremely warm. I have worn it yesterday already. Before blocking, I just craved to try how it feels on my neck, because my neck is extremely picky, constantly complains, and I barely can handle things on my neck. Not the softest thing. So even though I can tolerate this baby yak towards my entire body, but this part in the chin area and the whole neck and here and the bones, where the fabric is constantly creating friction, it was really not the best experience. So I'm just hoping for the blocking to help, so the fluff comes out and it kind of softens. But I bought this layer yesterday for the purpose to wear this as many times as I want. So basically, if I pull it out, it's going to really help a lot. I don't want it to show off, but just to be there inside. And if it bothers my chin too much, then of course I can make this. But still, my idea was to wear it with anything, not only with this layer. So I'm just hoping that my skin can get used to it and the blocking will help for the softness. But maybe for the next time, I would not choose this yarn for this type of neck. But I'm a very sensitive person, so most people are going to be completely fine with this fiber. I know that a lot of people can wear mohair with a very high neck, so take my words with a grain of salt. And regarding modifications, the only thing that I did is I added a little bit of the shoulder slope. So basically, when you're done with the back panel, you start at the bottom here, then you knit all the way up here to the neck, and then you start to decrease stitches and form this back neckline. And when you're done with that, you knit then straight to reach the front part, right? And when I was knitting straight while reaching the front part, I just made one turn, like to the end and turn, and kept on knitting front. And I counted the stitches in the whole amount of the stitches I had to knit for the front part. So that created a little bit on the shoulder slope. If I wouldn't do that, then the fabric could be a bit pointed to the side, you know, just like that. And for my body type, it's not so crucial to make these shoulder slopes, but for people who have a bit more steep slopes on the shoulders, it is going to be super crucial. So if you don't want the fabric to be pointing to the sides, just like that, just like that. But I did see it pointing like that in a lot of work. If you don't want that, you need then the shoulder slope, and you can make it with turns. So you can make either one turn and come back, or 1, 2, 3 and come back, you know. There's a lot of ways to make shoulder slope, but it's very useful to make a better fit. So that's the only modification I did. And then I knitted everything to the pattern. I really like this twisted stitch, which was not the most pleasant knit, of course, because you do twisted stitches in the knit and in the purls, but it's worth it because I really like the effect of it, and it's very stable, doesn't roll in or out. I love it a lot. And regarding the neckline, I only missed 2 centimeters. So it says 20 centimeters of the neckline, and I did 18 because I didn't want it to, you know, really be here. That would be even worse. If I'm so happy before blocking, I just can't imagine how it's going to be after. Well, my terrazzo neck is completely dry and I'm so shocked. The fabric transformed a lot. I did not expect this. I'll be honest. I really didn't expect that, especially because I knitted this terrazzo neck on 4mm needles, and the recommended needle size for this yarn is 5, 5.5 or even 6mm needles. It became so drapey, so flowy and so soft that it's hard to believe this transformation. I love this type of transformations. And I'll be honest, this is the biggest and the most impressive transformation of my entire knitting story. I don't remember the yarn that impressed me so much, how it transformed after the block. I'll have to point out that my colorway that is called Desert is undyed colorway, and undyed colorways are way more soft and fluffy than dyed colorways. And while I want the whole sweater in this yarn in a dyed version in some color, I still don't know if I choose more softness and fluffiness or the color. I've worn it again after blocking, so I can make a final conclusion and share it with you. It feels way softer on my neck now than before blocking, but I have to say that I still feel some itchiness sometimes around my neck, especially when it gets too hot. But still, I'm very happy with my choice. It was a gorgeous experience and I will wear this neck warmer so much. Baby yak Tibetan fibers is a luxury that I want to feel against my skin, also in the sweater quantity. Now I can truly prove that yak is warmer than cashmere, than wool or than mohair. It is extremely hot. It feels like a warm bottle on my chest and on my back. And just thinking about the whole sweater in this yarn makes me so excited. Good morning. It is Tuesday. It is 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm still a bit sleepy, but I woke up at 6:45 and I had a lot of knitting time. It was still dark and I really enjoyed on one of my whips, which you're going to see in this video. And the reason I am now with a makeup, with my hair and already dressed is because I am going to meet today with a woman, a knitter. We got to know each other through the internet, through knitting community, just like through Instagram. And I found out that she actually lives in my city, very close by. So I offered her to meet and have a tea, just get to know each other and speak and maybe knit. We're going to go to a very beautiful park, hopefully. And that's very exciting for me because I met my dear Inna, my best friend right now. I love her so much through internet. And also Nastya, my another friend, also a knitter. Well, she's also my best friend right now. And she's the viewer of Inna from the first one. And now we're friends, we meet each other, we share everything. And today I'm going to meet another person and I'm just sitting here and I'm so grateful to realize that if I ever hesitated to post my first video on YouTube, it would never happen. It's crazy how you have one idea in your brain and then your life gets more interesting and more saturated with different things if you allow that to happen. I got a wonderful gift from Martha. It is a 100% cashmere from Lana Gata. She knew I'm a cashmere addict, and this little ball of yarn made me so happy. You can knit with it on 3 to 4.5 millimeter needles, and you get 150 meters per 50 grams, which is a lot. Also, I've recently bought Lantern Moon needles, 3mm DPNs. I wanted to try them for a long time, and I'm going to do it right now with this yarn, so let's see how they feel. I want to share with you a small finished object that actually took lots of time. It is a self-drafted hat for my father on 2.5mm needles. Can you imagine that? This is Italian yarn and cone, and if you watch my channel, you know that I love to knit with such yarn. This is a 100% extra fine merino wool. It is called Tolegno Harmony. Extra fine merino wool is extremely soft. It is extra soft. To me, it felt like cashmere, but not the fluffy cashmere, just like very smooth and shiny and silky cashmere. To be honest, I don't really notice the difference between cashmere softness and this softness. This is a combed merino wool, not carded, so the texture is going to be just like silk. Very interesting, very drapey, will hold the shape better, just like ribbing or any other texture will be more bouncy. It is also called worsted spun, and it is more resistant to wear and to peeling, which is also a plus. But again, the texture from such yarn is going to be silky, drapey and shiny. And I knitted the hat with 7 strands, which was the most painful moment. When I was buying the yarn in the Ukrainian yarn shop, I knew that I can order actually 7 different cones, but I didn't do it because my mother was traveling and obviously there was no space in the backpack for 7 cones of yarn. And I thought it's fine, I'm going to do it at home by myself. And oh my god, this was the most painful experience. I would never repeat this at any cost. So if you would like some interesting experience knitting with 7 or more strands of yarns, I truly suggest knitting with this. I loved it. Is that it is a special experience and you have to buy the yarn. And you do have to find the yarn, but it is quite easy because Etsy shops and some of the Eastern European shops, Lithuanian shops, Latvian shops do sell this type of yarns, and it's not so hard to find. During one sit-down evening, I finished the whole hat for a newborn. Honestly feels very satisfying to get an entire finished object in just one evening. And I had in stash 1 ball of Link Cashmere Plus, a wonderful gift from a viewer from Vienna. She also gifted me quite a few more yarns and I shared about them in my podcast number 8. And finally I had a chance to try this one. I'm so shocked, to be honest, the amount of fluff this cashmere released after blocking. And this hat is not even dry completely, this is actually wet. This fluff was not here before blocking. This is crazy, and I can only imagine the whole sweater in this yarn. But you only get 45 meters per 25 grams and the yarn is quite pricey. And I don't really know if I would like such chunky sweater. But for accessories, I think this yarn is just perfect. I'm going to be quite emotional, but it actually makes sense why. Look at this. A huge box of yarn that was sent to me by Pascuali. As you may know, I am collaborating with Pascuali. I'm their affiliate partner. And if you watch my channel, you know that I was in love with this brand way before I became their partner. I didn't even think of this opportunity one day. Well, first of all, I already opened the box and I removed very special yarn that I'm creating a whole separate video, a project vlog about that yarn, and I don't want to share about it with you. It's a surprise. It's too special for me to just randomly share it in my knitting vlog. So let's first see the yarn and then I want to share about the company itself, not because they asked me to share it, just because I think it's a very big gem among the whole yarn companies that exist, and their fascinating. I think I can speak about them for hours, just like about Olena Sedalkina, my favorite knitting designer. Anyways, let's take a look at the yarn finally. How am I supposed to open this? Let's do it like that. Gorgeous, gorgeous cashmere, just like a whole box of cashmere, and color swatches, color cards of all of the yarns that they have, except the very, very exclusive ones. Oh my gosh, hard to find words when I just look at it. It's completely tactile experience. Everything that I can speak about this yarn will never transmit what I feel when I hold it in my hands. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It always happens to me. I'm preparing the words. I'm thinking, what am I supposed to share with you? What I want to share with you, because it's a very, very special yarn. It has a lot of interesting details that are quite unique, and it happens constantly to me when I just hold it in my hands. I forget all of the words because it's oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, this is a paradise. I can't focus. It's really hard to transmit what I feel when I touch it, and I want to just touch it around my face. I want to just hold it, and honestly, just the thought that I will be knitting with this and wearing the item makes me go crazy. I don't know. How about you? Like, am I the only one this much crazy about cashmere? And right now I'm basically on a journey to try all of the cashmeres that I want eventually, right? Some of them are sent to me, luckily, thanks to my YouTube channel, but most of them I'm actually buying with my own money. And this one, Pascuali Cashmere 628, was on my list to buy. I was 100% ready to buy it because I already knitted with Cardiff Cashmere, and this was the next one on the list because I find it very, very special. And I'm very, very interested to see how it behaves in the fabric. And in the future, I'd like to make a video to compare all of these cashmeres, and it takes time to knit with all of them, right? And actually to wear and share the wearing experience. Oh my god, when I say that I'm going to knit with this, I'm just losing my mind. It's crazy. Anyways, this is, by the way, color 80, lavanda. The recommended needle size is 3mm needles. It is a sport weight yarn, and it is 112 meters in 25 grams. All right, now it's time to focus and actually transmit the information I wanted to share with you. First of all, is a Mongolian cashmere. That means that the goats that the yarn was sourced from were living actually in Mongolia, and that's what Pasquale actually stands for. They're sourcing the yarn from the natural places of the animals that they lived there for centuries and, I don't know, thousands of years. So if it's a cashmere, that's from Mongolia. If it's a merino, that's from Patagonia. If it's alpaca, from Peru. Vicuña, the most expensive yarn in the world, from Peru as well. The cashmere itself is very interesting. It is an undercoat of the goats, not the top layer that we see on top of the animal, but the undercoat, the invisible layer that is very fluffy, almost like a cloud isolating layer that keeps the animal in consistent temperature. So when it's night and it's cold, it keeps them warm, and when it's extremely hot in the daytime in the mountains where they live, this layer isolates them from the heat and from the sun. So this is a combed layer of their undercoat. The undercoat is carefully brushed with brushes that does not harm the animals, and Pasquale itself as a company makes sure that they source the yarn from completely cruelty-free source, and they're prioritizing the animals, the health of the animals, and the workers that work in the farm. They're collaborating with small farms, and owners of Pasquale actually go to the places and they see the working conditions of everything that is happening in the farm. For me, this was fascinating. I'm speaking right now and I'm having goosebumps how much passion this company has for the yarns and for the productions of yarns. This is a very rare case where people are extremely, extremely passionate from Pasquale. There is a big example that you can actually make profit and to be very friendly and nice to the animals, to the nature, and to people who work within the farms. And what I also like about Pasquale, which is a German company, that they make sure that the chain of production is as short as possible, because this allows them to be more transparent with the consumers, us, and share more details about where the yarn is sourced, how it's been produced, and all of the details that consumers that are picky and nerdy like me want to know. So they say that they actually test the fibers before spinning them. They test them for peeling, for losing color, and for other important qualities that then produce very high quality fabric. For me, this was crazy. When I was reading about it, I was like, what? Is this even real that people could be so passionate about what they produce? When I hold this ball of yarn in my hands, I feel how much effort was made behind it, and this gives even a more interesting depth of experience before knitting. And I don't know, this is the first time in my knitting life that I feel so engaged with the yarn itself and with people behind it and with their values. And again, I have goosebumps. And when I speak about it, it's crazy. So actually, I wanted to say where it's spun. Very interesting. They are based in Germany, the Pascuali company. They source this cashmere from Mongolia, and the fibers are traveling to Italy. They're being spun and dyed there. And they're spun by Cariaggi. I am a big fan of Cariaggi. I have yarns, I have items knitted with Cariaggi cashmere. And Cariaggi is a huge spinning factory that produces a lot of different yarns for different company. And it is actually partially owned by Chanel and by Brunello Cucinelli, which was also extremely fascinating to know. Pasquale makes sure that most of the yarns are organic and certified. Organic means that the least or none of the chemicals are used in the yarn production, so especially it's important for people with allergies, for children, or for people who actually care a lot about environment and organic production of goods as much as possible. Also, this wonderful company offered 10% discount for all of you who shop the yarn through my link. So right under the video, the first line you will see is the link to this cashmere, and if you click on it and you put the item in your cart, you will already have this 10% discount applied. You don't need to put any code, you just go through the link, you shop through the link, any yarn that you want from Pasquale, including this wonderful cashmere, and 10% discount is going to be applied. Pasquale also sent me this wonderful color cards book. I think this is an amazing thing to have when you're dreaming about the perfect yarn for the perfect project. And instead of guessing how it will be, you can actually touch the texture and see the real colors. I wish I had more of these from the brands that I love because it's very useful, at least for me. Pasquale has many yarns that I adore, and some of them are Mohair Bliss that I've tried before and I love it, super soft. Now I'm trying the Cashmere 628, which is just a treasure, just a dream. I actually really want to try their merino yarn that can be washed in the machine on a wool cycle, and it is not superwash. Instead, it's treated with a special enzyme that does not harm the environment and doesn't require tons of water. Also, I would love to try their Sayama yarn. I tried this in the yarn shop and it's just super interesting, quite drapey and lightweight, and I don't know, interesting texture. And also Manada, which is a very interesting blend of yak, mohair and alpaca. Feels extremely soft. To me it feels way softer than actual mohair from them, and I'm really excited to see the whole garment in it. I'm already dreaming what type of projects I can knit with this. And overall, considering my huge love to their sustainable and thoughtful approach, honestly I would knit with just anything. I'm now just a true fan. I'm completely lost in love to Pasquale and this is my honest opinion. It's a gorgeous brand. I am so worried and happy at the same time because I'm going to give a try to my whip. This is a Ballerina Wrap that I'm knitting on right now, and I am about to stop knitting at the bottom. The problem with this whip is that I'm using 2 strands of yarn. The first strand of yarn is nice one, the normal one, Alpaca Socks by Lank, which is 70% pure alpaca and 30% nylon, which is a beautiful soft alpaca, and that is really warm, and I cannot knit socks with this. It's actually sock yarn, but I would never knit socks with this. It's so gorgeous. And the second strand is complicated. This is yak strand with merino wool. I'm going to put the name on the screen because it's Italian yarn and cone, and it's impossible for me to remember all of the names. So these 2 strands give me a very beautiful fabric. The problem with this one is that it has 10% elastan in it, and elastan shrinks after the block. They say that it shrinks by 25%. And whenever I was knitting on this wrap, I was constantly thinking how much it could potentially shrink, and how many rows and how many stitches do I need to knit more just in case for the possible shrinkage. The color is something between gray and beige, and it's creating this very beautiful melange effect because of the second strand. Oh my gosh, it's really low. I pray that it's going to shrink up. Because every time I was knitting, so before splitting in the raglan, I added like 3 or 4 repeats to the last repeat of the pattern. Then every time I was increasing for the V, I was constantly increasing 1 more thing before the next section, 1 more repeat before the next section. This is the project for me to put on for every workout that I do in the morning. When it's cold, when it's winter, when I really don't want to work out, which is mostly the case. It doesn't matter if I do yoga or the workout is really cold, and I need that motivation, the transition piece that I'm going to just put on, that my brain will associate with the workout, and is going to be really warm and comfortable to at least warm up before I can take it out and already feel fine. So my idea is also to make very long and warm sleeves, maybe up to here. And double knitting bottom band is going to be so freaking painful to make double knitting bottom band, but I see it. I am going to put my effort, and in my head is way more beautiful than a night cord. However, I do like the version with a night cord as well. It's just that I'm a fan of double knit bottom band. I will put a timer and measure how much time it's going to make me because you see there's this huge tie that goes around your body, then it goes all the way around the wrap, and also in the bottom of the sleeves I will make folded over cuffs, or how you call them, folded over things. Well, now it is time to say goodbye. Well, I share with you some of the recent shots from the nature. I love hiking. I'm a true hiker for, I don't know, 12 years already. And that's why actually I don't have much time knitting, because I always have to prioritize if I want to knit on the couch, being cozy and wrapped in my cozy blanket, or I want to get back outdoors and go on a hike or a cycle. I always have that dilemma, but looks like I can balance it, luckily. On this wonderful note, I want to thank you for being here, for watching, and maybe sharing your cozy knitting time with me. I appreciate all of you so much. Every view and every comment is a breath of fresh air to me. Thank you again, and I hope to see you soon in my next video.